Yo, I hate moments like this because it sours my mood for the rest of the recap. You mean to tell me that y'all voted for a couple that one of which doesn't want to be with that person, one of which said his peak in the show was hooping with some niggas. One, I love her down, but she said her peak was her mom coming that day. The other, to keep it all the way a buck, they just want to fuck each other. But y'all sent home the one couple that was left that truly had a connection. Take what you want to take out of what Ace did to Jeremiah and playing the game per se. But to deny that as a connection on Love Island and it being people gonna be mad, but guess what? I don't care because y'all know I'm always stated. The only black couple, the only full black couple there. And yeah, I'm saying it because if you go look in Shelley's comments, if you go look at what BuzzFeed posted about her needing a knuckle sandwich, how a lot of people online have been perpetuating a bunch of racism and a bunch of stereotypes for black women, Olandria included. That's why I got on here whenever the shit happened and made it a point to state that is not what it is. And I think it's incredibly disappointing that so many of my own people got online knowing what they're doing. Because you know once you start perpetuating certain stereotypes for certain black women, you know what you're doing. You know you're going to get people, and the people that it doesn't apply to, you shouldn't even be offended by what I'm stating. Because if it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply. But if you're offended, it applies to you. But you know people that look to find any reason to hate on a black woman, for you to be black yourself and pour on that narrative, y'all are part of the issue too. And this has nothing to do, the vote, in my opinion, I don't feel like it has anything to do with them not feeling like they're the strongest couple, because it's clear they're the strongest couple there. Like let's keep it a buck. Take out your feelings for Ace, take out your feelings for Chelley, whatever that may be. To sit there and state that was not the strongest couple there, you're crazy. Crazy. It's wild. And not only just them, it's just like you see how many couples have gone home this season and you find a connection, you go home. And I know people can say this is karma because Ace did that to Jeremiah, but it's stupid. This is by far the worst season of the show. Yes, it's been entertaining, but in terms of what the show was meant to be, it's the worst one. But if y'all are new here, please hit subscribe. Thumbs up the video for me. Drop a comment down below. Keep it respectful. If you don't, you get blocked. It's just that simple. But yeah, I'm going to try and get some energy because I'm still aggravated. I just watched Alicia Baumgartner defend her title. Shout out to her. Not her best showing, but she finished it. And I'm still irritated. But let's go. All right, so we get back to where we left off, which was Ace and Chelley in the hideaway. They are sitting at the jacuzzi, drinking champagne, cheers into being exclusive in and outside of the villa. They're both smiling. They're having a good old time. She said she would rate the day a 10 out of 10. And they start feeding each other and start kissing and doing some Lady and the Tramp type shit. But everybody else in the house, they're getting ready for bed. Olandria and Amaya, they're excited for Chelley and Ace. Amaya and Huda, they end up upstairs laughing about Amaya trying to execute the plan to get Chris and Huda out there to the dock. And the boys, they're wondering if Ace has folded yet. But everybody's sleeping now. Everybody except for Pepe and Iris, who have been fucking in the bedroom every single time. And y'all mentioned it, but I didn't pay attention because I tuned them out because they're boring. But Iris thinking that her and Pepe should have went into the hideaway. Why? The whole purpose of the hideaway is for y'all to do what y'all been doing in the room with them. So what's the point? But Ace and Chelley, they were in there having a good time with each other. They didn't actually do what you would have expected them to do. Good for them, because you can tell those two are not going to compromise what they believe in. And when I state that in regards to having sex on camera, they're not going to do that. So shout out to them for that. But the next day, it's Family and Friends Day. Everybody's excited. Amaya is running around, running laps because they know it's Family Day. And everybody's screaming. Everybody's excited. Amaya says that she thinks that it's going to be a FaceTime call. And they all go running around outside. And then they see the big old TV. And, of course, everybody's screaming and excited. Nick is crying immediately. Amaya's over there comforting everybody that is crying. And Ace and Chelley, they end up waking up. Ace ends up carrying her out of the hideaway to everybody, and they're cheering for them. Ace ends up stating that this was the first time that somebody's going to actually meet his parents. Like a girl, a love interest is actually going to meet his parents. So the boys, they end up cooking breakfast. Chelley was in there with them, but she started leaving. And as she started leaving, the boys were waiting for her to go all the way up there so they can ask Ace what happened. So when she finally gets upstairs, Ace then tells them how he pretty much asked her to be exclusive. He went through all of the steps to what he did to get to that point. And he was like, it went well. So he was like, I was just happy waking up this morning. They're fishing for details. They're fishing for him to state that he went there and got busy. And he told them, no, I didn't fold. Like, I didn't fold, which I respect him for keeping true to that. Like, you could tell him and Chelley, if they do it outside of the show, they want to do it where it's special between the two of them and it's not being broadcast for the world to see. And I can do nothing but respect that. But, because they end up asking too if any hands were moving anywhere. And Ace says, obviously, like, they were having fun without actually going that next step. For sure. But, I mean, they have fun, so good. But Chelley, she's upstairs telling the girls about how it all happened, how she got the poem from Ace. And it basically seemed like a proposal, and he was asking her to be exclusive. And Amaya then says that she's happy for everything that happened for them. She's happy it happened so naturally. And Chelley was like, I mean, I thought he was proposing. So Bryan ends up asking the boys if they're worried about meeting their girls' parents and their families. And they're like, hell yeah, we're a little bit nervous. But they ended up asking Chris what he thinks is going to happen with his family. And he says he doesn't know. And he then says that if he had the choice, he would not introduce her to his mom and his sisters because they're harsh. I said in the moment, I was like, oh, I'm excited because it sounds like they're probably going to keep it real. Wrong. But the fact that he said that he didn't want to introduce his love interest to his parents and y'all still voted for that on love, y'all are fucking dense, bro. Like, what is going on? It's crazy to me. But Huda then says that she's scared of her parents. She's scared of meeting his parents. And she feels like she's more scared to meet his family than she is for him to meet hers. But Amaya says that she feels like her mom is going to grill Bryan. We see that Amaya's mama don't play no games. I can already tell. But Amaya's family, they're the first ones on the TV. They're on the TV. Everybody's screaming because they hear it and they start running over there. Bryan's family is over there as well. It's her mom and her stepdad and Bryan's best friend and his dad. And they talk about how good they look together, which they do. Amaya starts crying, talking about how she misses her mom. And as she's talking, the TV turns off. And I'm pretty sure we all knew that. I knew that the minute the TV went off, obviously from seeing the first look, they was coming in. So it was cute the way they did it, though, because everybody was looking confused. Because everybody that wasn't privy to the message, they were still watching Bryan and Amaya interacting with their families. And everybody was looking confused, but the family starts creeping out. Amaya and Bryan were still sitting there looking at the TV, so they didn't see. Everybody else was over there at the front where they can see their families walking in, and they're creeping in trying to be quiet. Everybody, the Islanders, kept it quiet so that they can creep over there, and they ended up creeping over there to Bryan and Amaya. I don't know how they stayed like that the whole time without seeing them. I don't know if it was production doing that, but regardless, it was cute because they crept up on them. They finally see their families. They all embrace. It was a really sweet moment. Amaya and her mom are crying. Bryan and his dad are crying. Amaya and Bryan have a lot of commonalities. Y'all think that he's scamming, whatever, whatever. But they have a lot of commonalities. Like, they're both super emotional. Like, they have a lot of things in common. But all the girls are crying watching them get emotional. But Bryan, he's getting emotional in his confessionals too. But everybody comes and greets their family. And they go back over there while Amaya and Bryan take their families to the fire pit and they start introducing their families. So their families think that they're cute together regardless. His dad tells him how proud he is of him, how proud his mom is of him, and that gets him emotional. We find out that Bryan is super duper close to his mom. And Amaya, she got that good energy, like with that same energy that she's had all season. She's literally exuding that. You could tell they just love being around her. And I'm just talking about her family and his family. Like Bryan's dad and his best friend, you could tell they just loved her energy immediately. So she ends up asking, like, what are y'all's favorite moment of us in here? And his dad and his mom are proud of how he stood up for Amaya, how he stood up for her, backed her. And her mom is proud of that as well because he was backing her Latina culture. So his friend loved them coupling up, going to the hideaway. That was his favorite moment, which I found funny. But they have natural vibes. It's natural vibes. You can tell, like Amaya said, it's like a family reunion. Like both of their families, it just felt like it was just natural. It felt like they knew each other already. But they then, what happened? Amaya ends up taking her family over, I think. Yeah, Amaya goes off with her family over to one of them areas over there. But Bryan stayed there with his dad and his best friend, and he ends up asking them how they feel about Amaya. And they just give her they give him all the compliments about her, giving her so many glowing compliments. They love her. They feel like they're super compatible together, and they see how much he likes her and she likes him. And his dad stated too that she's very much like your mom, and Bryan agreed. And they also love that she's not scared of showing her true self, being emotional and being one in tune with her emotions. So Bryan's friend said that that's what you need. You need that in your life. And Bryan says, like, yeah, she's in New York, because they ended up asking him, like, do you intend to pursue this after the show? And he's like, yeah, she's literally right there in New York. He's going to try and explore it and see what happens after the show. But Amaya then asked her family about Bryan, and her stepdad likes him. Because he's super accepting of who she is. He's not trying to change her. Amaya's mom loves how she can just be herself around him. And she was like, seeing her crying so much this season and seeing how she was treated, it made her sad. And she said she didn't appreciate how they were treating her, but she is proud that she stayed true to herself. She's happy. Bryan's dad then shows him a video from his mom, and he's crying immediately. The Islanders are watching him crying. They start getting emotional watching him. But he talks about how his mom is his best friend, and knowing that she's proud of him and seeing how the world can see him, he's excited about that. But Amaya says that everything felt so natural. It looked that way to me. They all say goodbye to their families. Tears are still flowing on both ends. And yeah, they're getting my vote 100%. Like they're the only ones that I feel are deserving of my vote, honestly. And with me saying that, I love Olandria down. But in the sense of this show, I have to vote the way I feel like I need to vote. But the Islanders, they tell them how happy they are for them. They fill them in on everything. Amaya then talks about how the fact that their family support them makes them feel good. But we then get Iris and Pepe. Their families are meeting. Her mom and sister are there, and his mom and dad are there. They come in sneaking in as well. Iris and Pepe see them. They hug them. There's no tears, really. Everybody's cheering. Iris thought that she was going to cry, but she was just happy to see them and spend time with them. She takes her family upstairs. Pepe's family is downstairs. He talks about how badass she is, and his parents are in agreement with that. He's cussing in front of his parents. I guess cultures are different. Even though the older I get, I can cuss around my parents. But it's gotten to the point where I'm old enough to be able to do that, but I don't do it in a disrespectful way. Like, my parents know what I be saying on here, but I just found that interesting because, like, just the way they freely do it is crazy. And the only way I'd cuss is if it's something I'm super passionate about. I don't just be cussing just to be cussing around my parents. But I just found that funny. But Iris tells her family that Pepe's a man, and he essentially was her friend coming in, and they just kind of grew into a relationship. Whatever. I just literally feel like they fuck buddies. Like, that's literally what it is to me. But her sister said that she was sad initially when the whole TJ shit happened, but she's happy with where Iris is with Pepe right now. And her mom gets emotional talking about how she just wants her to be happy. She just wants her to do and be with somebody that actually values her for who she is, as any mom would with their daughter. But Pepe then says that they pretty much plan to see each other outside of the show. His mom is proud that he stayed true to himself. Their families leave. Boring. We then move to Amaya noticing how quiet Chris is, because everybody's still sitting there waiting on the next set of families to come in. And they're noticing how quiet he is. He is extremely quiet. Not even sitting next to Huda. Huda can see that he's quiet too. And he's talking about he's just quiet because he's emotional and stressed. He's stressed out thinking that his family's going to come in there and probably hold her accountable, which they didn't. They failed, but we're going to get to it. But Chelley ends up asking, like, why are you stressed? And he beats around the bush about it. Like, just completely beats around the bush about it. But he then tells us that it's too soon to introduce Huda to his family because they're still getting to know each other. I'm like, whatever. But Ace and Chelley's families, they come in. It's his big sister and his brother meeting Chelley's mom and dad. Like Amaya and Bryan's family, this felt like a family reunion. Like, both of their families just meshed extremely well. The energies were really, really good. They were excited to walk in. They walked in. Ace and Chelley go run into them. Ace picks his sister up. Chelley's immediately crying with her parents. Ace ends up telling her mom how beautiful she is. And Ace's sister telling him how proud of him she is. And he hugs his brother as well and tells him that he missed him a lot. Amaya is telling Chelley's parents how great of a job they did raising her. Amaya is just a sweet soul. That's why she's getting my vote. Like, that is why she's getting my vote. Like, I just feel like Amaya, she's just the most genuine person here. And I feel like her journey deserves the win. Like, she found somebody, whether y'all want to believe it or not. She found somebody, depending on how long it's gonna last. After the show, she did, and I felt like it organically happened. I can't get my words out because I'm so irritated. But yeah, so they take their families over to go sit down or whatever. And Shelley's mom is pretty much telling them, like, at work, she has her patients watching the show, and they're laughing and stuff. And his siblings are Team Chelley, and his sister ends up talking about how she knew that they were good whenever they had a disagreement, and they still kept it respectful. Even though there was a disagreement, emotions were high, they didn't disrespect each other in those moments. And her mom ends up talking about how she loves the fact that he has never raised his voice. And when you sit and think about it, he has not raised his voice. Yes, with Amaya, the way he was with her, the way he was gaslighting her, that wasn't cool. But in the sense of being respectful with the women in the house, when it comes to the way he speaks, and when I say speaks, yeah, he gaslit Amaya, but he never yelled at these women, which is good. When he could have, but he didn't. So they're giving him his props on that. Her mom ends up also stating that she loves the way he looks at Shelley, and his sister says that she loves Shelley. So, which is also funny because it just makes sense as to why Coco, his friend, is it Coco? What's that girl's name? Cookie. It explains why she got online trying to apologize, because it's clear as day his family probably set her ass straight. Like, shut the fuck up. But he then tells them how he and Shelley became exclusive, and she ends up telling them that she was essentially waiting on him to do that. But her mom loves how they're always smiling around each other, and they bring out good sides in each other. And she was like, he brought out a side in Shelley that she's never seen before. But Ace goes off and talks to his siblings upstairs, and they're talking about how proud of him they are. Ace ends up talking about how Shelley's been the person that's pretty much been keeping him calm throughout the entire experience. And he then also talks about how, his sister then talks about how she loves the respect that they have for each other, and she can't wait to see what is to come of them. He then tells her that he does see a future with Shelley, and they're like, can she come around the family? Can she come to the cookout? He's like, yes, she can. She can. But Shelley's parents, they're downstairs talking with Shelley, and she ends up asking them, what do they think of Ace? And her mom was like, he reminds me so much of your dad. Her dad looked like, no, he don't. No, he don't. But her mom stated that Ace is upstairs with his siblings, and his sister was like, Ace got a text. And the text is a video from his mom. She's giving him so many props, and she gets emotional in the video, which then makes him emotional. With everything Ace has done this season in regards to like the game strategy, I cannot take away from this black man that he's clearly raised well. Like, yes, he's 22 years old. And that's the thing too. I hope people realize that too. Yes, he played the game. Yes, he got on here and was pretty much manipulating shit and trying to control it like he playing Big Brother. But, and shout out to that. If y'all don't know, I'm recapping. I dropped the recap, the episode 1 today. But take that out. He's still a good you can tell he's a good person. He's a good person at the end of the day. Yes, he hated on Jeremiah. Let's keep it real. But at the core, you can tell he's a good person. Like, out of all the men there, it's funny how he's the one that gives out the most sound advice, which tells you he was raised well. And his mom did a really, really good job with raising him. But he gets emotional. Did I pause it? He gets emotional. And Shelley ends up reading a letter that her dad gave her from one of her, I think it was her brother. And he's pretty much talking about how cool it is seeing her on TV. And he can't believe that she got the world calling her Shelley when her name is Michelle. That was funny. But they're all smiling. Their families leave. Shelley and Ace, they're smiling when they leave. They enjoyed being around their families and stuff. So that was a really, really wholesome moment too. We then get to Huda and Chris. Chris and his mom has his mom and his sister, and Huda has her sisters. I'm like, where's her parents? Like, where are her parents at? But she sees them and she starts screaming. Chris goes and runs over to his mom. He picks up his sister. His mom starts crying. He starts crying. They're both, somebody was boohooing. I don't know which one it was, but somebody was boohooing. They all head over to the fire pit. And I'm not going to hold y'all. I started writing notes, but when it got to a point where I could tell it was bullshit from his family, I stopped writing. I'm just going to keep it all the way a buck with y'all. And you can call me a hater all you want. You're a Huda hater. Shout out to Timmy Talks. But, like, I'm not wasting my time writing notes for this shit. But they talked about how amazing it is watching them. I was waiting for somebody to hold somebody accountable, which is how you know Chris. That's why he was stressed out, because he probably thought his mama was gonna come on there and be like, "She ain't the one for you." Like, what the fuck? Like, what? But that didn't happen. So they started talking about that, and Huda ends up stating that she needed to evolve in here, and she did when she met Chris. Are you dense? Did you hit your head out there? Like, what evolution have you made? You still did the same shit. The only thing is you didn't like fully crash out on him. You still did not change. You still haven't changed. But his family talks about how good they look together. They're pretty much prepping her up and giving her so many props about her extracurricular activities with her dancing, and which is good. I will state that, but like that's what you want to talk about. But his family talks about how good they look. The Islanders are talking about how their families are going to mesh and whatever, and they think that they'll do fine. But this is where I stopped writing, because his mom and his sister were pretty much talking about, we don't have, because he asked, like, do y'all have any notes or anything? Do y'all have any critiques? Nothing. They ain't say nothing. No, we don't have anything bad to say. Get out of here. Y'all just here for the money. That's clear as day. Y'all are literally just here for the money. And I think that is so tacky. My parents would never, if I was on the show and I was coupled up with somebody like Huda, which would never happen. It would never happen. I got too good of a judge of character to ever let that shit happen. But they would get on that show, cameras or not, they would check me. Why are you with this? Like, what? No, bye. Huda and her family, they go off, and Chris ends up asking his family about how they feel. And I just told y'all what it was. Huda's sister's over there blowing smoke up her ass, just like they were him. And she ends up asking how they felt about Jeremiah. And I'm like, why are you asking about Jeremiah? Which then proves, because I don't even think I'm remembering. I was going to say, I don't even know if she even asked about Chris, but I'm looking at the note here. But she ends up asking how they felt about Jeremiah. And I'm like, why are you even asking? It's been 3 weeks since you saw Jeremiah. Like, you're here with Chris now, if that's who you really wanted to be with. But it's clear she's still thinking about Jeremiah. But they then tell her that she went in too quick with Jeremiah instead of actually getting to know him first. Duh. That's what we've all been saying. But Huda then says that it brought the toxic side out of her, and that's why she's getting to know Chris. His family ends up asking how he's feeling, and he talks about how he's been trying to understand, he's been trying to understand things with Huda through their hiccups, and they said they love Huda. I sat and thought about it too in perspective. They didn't really see the last, I guess, couple episodes, so I'm like, then again, can they really speak on it? But then again, I'm just like, no, you've seen how Huda is, so the way they sit here act, please, I'm moving on. Nick and Olandria, they're the last couple to get their families. Olandria's mom, I can't even get my words out. Olandria's mom is there. She's the only one there from Olandria's family, and she's meeting Nick's mom and sister. We know Nick's mom and sister have had a presence on social media. Olandria's mom is beautiful. She got that body from her mama. Her mama got body. But they're both Team Nick Olandria, like her mom and their family. But they come in walking together. Nick and his mom, they start crying. Olandria's like, hey, twin. And I love how Olandria and her mom's relationship is. Like, I love it. It's like it honestly is giving big sister, little sister. Like, the way they talk is wholesome. So they meet each other's families. His mom hugs Olandria and tells her how much she loves her. She's like, I love you so much. But Olandria's mom then says that Nick is even more handsome in person. But their moms talk about how irritated they were that it took them so long to get to each other, how everybody was seeing it. I'm not one of those people. Y'all get mad. Y'all get mad because I just don't see it. Like, I mean, I want to see it, but I don't see it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and state that I see something I don't see. Like, the amount of comments I had in my comments talking about something, I don't like, how do you not see it? I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't. Like, I want to see it. I want to see what y'all claim that y'all see, but I just don't see it. But Olandria then asks, because she goes and sits down with her mom, and she was like, is Dad proud of me? She was like, yeah, he is. And you made me very proud. Olandria asked her mom, have you been liking my outfits? And her mama said, girl, you been popping. And they went pop. I said, I love that. But she then says, like, you've been serving body and face. And she has them haters that have been on TikTok having the audacity to call her ugly and state that she looks like a man. Are y'all fucking... The colorism jumps out, and it's like you go look at the people who are stating it, and it's just clear colorism. Like, be for real, because like to ever say that woman is ugly and looks like a man, you're crazy. And then the people that are stating it don't hold a candle to her. Like, are you insane? Are you insane? Shut up. But Nick then says that Nick's sister and his mama cracked me up right here. Ooh, I was dying laughing. Nick's sister said, "We saw you under them sheets." And his mom said, "Nicolas." And the face that she made when she said that shit, she was dead ass serious. She was like doing that shit in public too, like that. You could tell she was disappointed in him moving and fucking all around that house. But his mom then says that she felt the bromance with Ace first, like more than the romantic connection from anybody. But she then tells him how much his dad loves Ace. He loves how he stands on business. Olandria's mom is telling her everybody's been wanting you and Nick together, which we all know the majority of America has. And she then says that, like, Olandria says, "I just didn't know that he liked me until a couple weeks ago." Olandria's mom then says, like, "We saw it from the beginning. Everybody's happy that y'all finally realized it." So her mom then says, "At first, I was like, he do too much. But then again, I was sitting here thinking that he's literally doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's exploring on the show," which is true. When you sit and think about it, it is true, but it's Nick. Like, you got to question how Nick moves. But do I believe that Nick, and with me stating that I don't see it within Nick and Olandria, I do see that Nick does. I feel like Nick has a crush on her. And I feel like Nick knows that he has to really stand up to really bag Olandria. He knows Olandria comes with a different standard, which is the difference between him and Taylor. Taylor knew he couldn't amount to that. He knew he wasn't attracted to her, but he knew he couldn't amount to that, which is why he never really gave it all that effort. You can see Nick is actually trying to give an effort, because I do believe that he is trying to be that. He wants to be what Olandria needs. I just don't see it on Olandria's end. I think Olandria looks at him like he's a little boy. Like, I do. Like, the way that she acts and talks with him, I just see little boy in her mind. Like, she's thinking this is a little boy. But Olandria tells her mom that she really likes Nick, and she likes how goofy he is. But Olandria then talks about how she cusses real good. This was funny. Her mom was like, "Yeah, you ain't getting no hand clap for that." She was like, "I mean, I get it from you." She was like, a little bit too much. But Nick, he's over there cussing around his mama too. But they start talking about how they've been day one Nick and Olandria supporters. Their families leave. They walk back in holding hands, talking about how they love how their families support them. And they talk about how positive it was that their families were there, how their relationships were. And Olandria then says that her mom really likes you, bro. Again, I can't get it when she says something like that. I can't. All right, but we get to everybody pretty much sitting around recapping the day. They're sitting at the fire pit talking about everything with their families. Bryan gets a text that tells them that they're going to be cooking and eating as a family today. They're all excited. The excitement is not there for long. But everybody's getting ready as they're still recapping, and everybody goes out to the kitchen once they're all dressed. Bryan's making the toast once the food is all together. So they all sit down and start talking and eating. And they start talking about their highest and their lowest moments of the season. So Bryan says his peak was meeting Amaya. And he went on just a tangent of how great she is. He ended up making her cry because of all of those nice things that he stated, which is why they're getting my vote. That's why. They were the only couple at this table that literally included each other. Like, we didn't get to see Ace and Chelley, and we didn't get to see Iris and Pepe talk about it. But, like, come on. Regardless if y'all feel like it's a scam or not, that's where my vote is going. But Amaya ends up stating that, like, bonding with the girls was a peak for her, and also meeting Bryan. But she says her pit moment was her and Ace's doc moment, where she was over there rolling that neck and you motherfucking nigga. Y'all know how Amaya was. That gift that is literally going viral. But she was like, she hated that she did that. She hated talking to him like that. And she apologizes. He gets up and goes and gives her a hug. I can see that they have like a brother-sister relationship. Like, that's why they didn't work. They're very alike in a lot of ways, honestly. But they literally give off they give off twin vibe, if you want to keep it real. Like, they literally give off twins to me. Like, they give off brother and sister. But Huda then says her crash outs were her pit moments, and she said it was a learning curve that you didn't learn from. But she then says that Casa Amor recoupling was her peak moment, which was obviously getting coupled up with Chris. Chris, like I said at the beginning, He stated that his peak moment was today and playing basketball with the boys. Did not mention Huda at all. And you looked at Huda, she was pissed. Pissed. And rightfully so, because at this point, like, we're coupled up and you can't even state this shit. And y'all voted for this. Y'all voted for this. Crazy. But Olandria says that today was her best moment, which was with her mom, because that's her super mom, her superwoman. And she's ending on a great note, knowing that her family is cheering them on, or cheering her on. She ain't mentioned Nick. She ain't mentioned Nick. But Pepe ends up getting a text telling them that America's been voting for the couples to go to the finale. Olandria gets the text, and it's stating that the couple with the fewest votes is getting dumped tonight. They have these little plates in the middle with the little tops over it. You remove the top, you read the note, it tells you if you're in the finals or not. Amaya and Bryan go first. I already knew what was going to happen just looking at the play setting. The way they was going down, I already knew what was going to happen. Amaya and Bryan, they go first. They're in the finale, thank God. Huda and Chris go there in the final. Stupid, like, the fuck. Nick and Olandria, they're in the finals. I'm not mad at that. Like, they were not the couple that I would have sent home. There were two couples that would have went home before them, honestly. Chelley and Ace, they're next. They're going home. And that's when I was like, you know what? This season truly is trash. All the way. Like, we knew it was, but this right here capped it. This capped it. Like, I'm like, this is insane. This is insane. Iris and Pepe are going to the finals. Boring. Like, y'all voting for the most boring couple. I wouldn't be shocked if they win. I would not be shocked if they win, which is insane. Insane. But it's America. I mean, it just makes sense. Olandria, she's crying because Chelley is leaving. That's her soul sister, but she'll see her literally in a couple days. Nick is crying because of Ace. Similar situation with Olandria. Chelley and Ace left with class. And I love that they left with class. I love that they weren't crying. I love that they were excited about the fact that they feel like their purpose was fulfilled. They found each other. They came here. That's what they found. That's what they wanted. And they left with each other. They left with class. They left with dignity. I know all the racists were wanting them to be crashing out, crying, and all that shit. And the fact that they left out of there with their heads held high, left out of there with grace, with class. They told them that they wished them the best. They thanked them for the experiences and the memories, and they left out with class. With class. Like, disgusting. Disgusted. Make sure y'all go vote for Amaya and Bryan. I will show y'all for sure who I voted for. If y'all vote for Nick and Olandria, I'm not going to be mad at y'all for that either. But my vote is clear as day. Ooh, can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Is it focused? Is it focused? Y'all get the hint. Y'all can see who it is. Boom. But that's just what it is. That's what it is. We got one more episode, thank God, and I'm going to struggle through it because I really don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it because I'm going to be pissed off if there's two options that I would be okay with winning. And y'all know which ones those are. But I will see y'all on Sunday night. I'm about to go to sleep because I'm pissed. Bye.